Hey, this is Alex from this stupid podcast. Real quick, tons of people have been paying attention to it. We really appreciate it. At least one person has said the podcast is too long. Sorry, we're not going to change the length. We're not splitting things up. What we're going to do is we're going to post the time the topic section starting on this podcast. So you can just skip to that or don't skip to it. Nick has something he wants to say too. Nick?
Well, I want to take a minute.
Balls.
It's important that we're honest here, and this is our first ever retraction that we've had to make, which, given our general level of incompetence, is pretty good. But during last week's podcast, we talked about a terrible show we had in Milwaukee, and we mentioned various people smoking crack, which anybody who has been around a bunch of white punks from Kenosha knows that's really more of a meth crowd. So I want to clarify, they were not smoking crack, they were smoking meth, most likely. So we do, it really did happen. Please don't read in that it was a made-up story. It was just that it was probably meth.
All right, thanks a lot. We're going to start this podcast. Thanks for listening.
Nick and Alex are dicks with friends.
Fuck you, Rich Flores.
Nick and Alex are dicks with friends. Nick and Alex are dicks with friends. Nick and Alex are dicks with friends.
Yay! You accidentally started listening to this podcast because you thought it'd be something cool from a punk band, but no. It's two retards. I'm the co-host,
brains,
Alex.
apparently.
Shut up. I'm the co-host, Alex, of Nick and Alex Are Dicks with Friends. I manage this podcast, which means I hit record. And this is our third podcast. We're super excited. It seems like we're getting out of our immediate circle of friends, but we're not. Episode 3, Mike Marty. Mike, tell the world something about you.
I like cheese.
I forgot to say, the other co-host, Nick. Nick, say hello.
Hi.
Hi. That's all
like
three
cheese?
of us. Okay.
I really like cheese,
No,
actually.
okay.
You're from Wisconsin, you almost have to.
Okay, so
Fair
Mike,
enough.
seriously now. You are in town, if not one of the most popular artists in town, without a doubt the most popular tattoo artist in town.
I mean, not only most popular, clearly the best, and all of the rest of them should be ashamed of themselves.
Those guys don't even have jobs, really. Anyway, without a doubt, the most
Mike's
popular...
gonna get his ass kicked now.
You gotta go work tomorrow. Okay, now, my favorite part of Mike, besides the beard and shit, is that when I go out with Mike, I get the same thing. What do you think that is? That is, how do you know Mike?
Yeah. They just
You're
don't.
not cool enough to hang out
Yeah.
with Mike.
It's like we knew Mike before you knew Mike.
Okay, Mike, real quick, we want to get to your tattoo, how you got tattooing, but can you, so the people believe I'm not making it up, can you talk a little bit about how we knew each other? How we know each other?
Well, Alex and I have known each other since birth.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because you were born in the same hospital bed or something, weren't you?
Same hospital, but less than a day apart.
Yeah.
We became super good friends right away in fucking
And it was meant to
preschool.
be, because I was born, 4 months premature.
Yeah.
So it was there was
Lord
some sort
brought
of
you two
oh, you have to hang out with Mike. And then we started skating all the time.
Yep.
We're skating all the time.
Growing up
What
in
was
a-
our awesome skate gang?
Our awesome skate gang.
Yeah, what was it called? Well, originally it was the Night Riders, and then we had the band Night Walkers. Remember that?
Dude,
That was fucking awesome. But we made. I'm not kidding. I'm not killing. I'm tonight killing. But we made doorstops, and one side of the doorstop was Night Walkers, and one night was anyway.
Did you ever actually play any music as the
No.
Nightwalkers? Because I don't.
we were technically in a band for a minute,
Yeah.
But you couldn't make it to practice because of all the sweet Milli Vanilli VH1 classics.
Hey, that was once.
So,
Not my first time watching Behind the Music on Milli Vanilli.
so
but
normal punk rock
Honestly,
shit.
I'd watch.
We
Behind the
were
Music on Milli
skater
Vanilli.
kids.
If that was on right now, I wouldn't be here.
we had a biker gang when we were
That was
8.
the night walkers.
Are you sure?
And then the
it
night
the
riders.
I
the
remember
motorcycle
drawing
gang.
up some sweet fucking jean jackets.
Absolutely, I remember that. Yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
It's a normal skateboard shit. We grew up together. Went to we worked at skate camp. It's just fucking insane.
Went to
And then
Waco.
we went to art
Got
school.
caught in the shower together that
Yeah.
time at skate camp.
Yeah, well, this one might run a little longer than a half hour explaining some of this stuff. So.
There's no explanation.
But
needed.
we went to art school together, and we both graduated. And I fucking am a huge part of you graduating because holy shit, did people want to kick you out of? Like I had to make up one. They were gonna kick you out of some class, and I made up that night that your mom got into a car wreck.
Was it Eddie's class?
Yeah, whatever. I had to make up this huge story, and I had to like fucking email you this story. I'm like, when you get here, your mom's dead.
Make sure your shit's straight.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I saved you from
when there was
from
the
graduating.
vampire story.
Oh fuck! All right, we have to
Yeah.
tell the
We
vampire
gotta tell
story.
the vampire
We went
story.
to Social D in Minneapolis, and you just loosen that. So we went to go see Social D in Minneapolis, and they turned. It was like a Monday night or Sunday night, and they fucking shut down the tunnel. So we had to drive through.
We drove around for I think 3.5 hours in Minneapolis.
we had to call people.
trying to find how to get
like
on the
4 in
fucking
the morning
interstate.
calling people like that we had to call that Travis dude, remember? 4 o'clock in the morning. And then we saw that cop arresting that dude, and we went up and asked him with the dude up against the hood, remember that? And then the dude up getting arrested told us how to get out of the city. What the fuck? All right, so we finally get home. We got home, it was like 6 a.m. And then we're like, I think it's 6.
It was like, it was
and
at
we're
least,
like,
it was
well,
like a
my-
6.5 hour
yeah,
car
so we're
ride.
like, we're gonna get drunk.
That should have been 2.5
We're not going to school
hours.
and we're getting drunk. So we drank a bunch. We drank a 40, I think, each, and we went to sleep. And we had this fucking insane teacher, and she knew someone in our what do you call them, dorms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they brought the entire class to the dorm, our door, and I opened up the door to our entire first period class, and they asked us why we weren't there, and I was just like staring at them, and not knowing. Fucking turned out. People told me turtle head popping out. My wiener was sticking out. They saw my wiener that day because I had boxer shorts. I had fucking. So that's
He
why.
says that
That's
like
why
it was-
they got so awkward. So they were like, well, we know you're not gonna make it this class, and I'm drunk. All right, now we're both drunk, and they like gave us a plate of cookies, and I'm like, Mike, you want a cookie? And Mike had the bottom bunk, and he had stapled curtains, like fucking, so you couldn't see him. It was hidden. And I was like, Mike, you want a cookie? And this hand with chipped black fingernail polish and fucking like goth like bracelets comes out through the black curtains and fumbles around the cookies like, no, this one. And then retreats it back for months. People are like, you fucking live with Dracula. What the fuck? I like years later I told that story
Hi,
and there was
Dracula, I
a
just like
bat
cookies.
at a warehouse I was working. There was a bat at a warehouse I was working, and everyone was freaking out about the bat. I'm like, what is so scary about bats? And someone said, well, some of us didn't fucking live with a vampire when we went to college. So,
I would
So
like
you
to note that
graduated school.
Alex said his penis popping out made people uncomfortable. But anybody who knew Alex during that time had seen his penis like at least half a
I used to
dozen
burn
times. Because he took that thing out all the time.
Really, again?
Yeah. I was so bored of seeing his penis after a while. It wasn't even special.
yeah, it
For a
sucks
couple
because
years.
people I know hear this.
Yeah.
All right. So you graduated art school, and we both kind of went our separate ways. And I'd talk to you every once in a while, and you'd be saying that you were going through the ropes, starting tattooing. You were doing the apprenticeship and all this kind of stuff. I remember you saying like, "Oh, I think I found the thing I want to do," and I was like, "Oh, awesome," And then, can you tell me a little bit like how did you start? How did you know you wanted to do it? Stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I'd always been getting tattooed, like ever since we turned 18, and was big into art, but never kind of put 2 and 2 together just because I knew it was a hard thing to get into. But I started getting tattooed by my buddy Josh Christic. a tattooer down in Milwaukee, and we became really, really good friends. And he's the one that kind of was like, you should do this, man. You should go for it. And I ended up talking to the guy that he had apprenticed under, and that's where it kind of first all took off. As I showed him some artwork and went and started being the shop bitch, basically.
Now, what does that entail?
You fucking name it. Like
Yeah.
scrubbing
Getting espressos.
tubes, doing laundry, cleaning their car, driving them all over
All
the
for
place.
free, right?
Yep.
You're holding down a full-time job at night, right?
For the first year and a half I was apprenticing, I didn't have a day off. I worked about 80 hours a week, every day.
I
so,
remember that you're saying like you didn't sleep at
Yeah,
all
I was
Yeah,
lucky if
really at
I
all.
slept maybe 3 or 4 hours a night, probably.
for like a year,
year and a half.
and then those guys.
Good practice for having a baby, by the way. I'm in that boat right now. That's fucking kid.
So then those guys were like, "This guy's cool. We're bringing you on full time," or
Well, the shop that I first started apprenticing at, I mean, it really just wasn't going. It didn't feel like it was going anywhere. So I ended up bailing, and I moved back to La Crosse. And I was friends with one of the guys that works in a shop here, and he kind of talked to his boss and got me kind of like an interview where I could go in and talk with them.
okay. What is an interview? Now I've been lucky.
Not really
enough
an
to
interview,
yeah.
but-
Okay. So I've been lucky enough to hang out at the different places you've worked at. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's a normal professional workplace. It's a little bit more laid back. So can
definitely
you
not.
describe what the interview of a tattoo shop is? Is it like
Is anybody in the room
can you
sober?
I don't know.
An interview of a tattoo shop.
Is it like,
I mean, I wouldn't really
what's your
say
favorite Stooges record? You're
No,
hired.
it's more so like, how long have you been tattooing for? Let me see your work. Make sure you're not some fucking dude strung out on a bunch of
Seems
drugs.
like it's a lot of like, is this guy a kook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
'Cause
there's
this
probably
guy-
got to be
yeah.
a lot of kooks coming in.
I
and
mean,
out.
you work
Somebody-
with a very small amount of people, and you work together a lot. So
Yeah.
everybody needs to
Gotta
be
be
able
able
to
to
get
rely on each
along.
other.
Yeah.
So I see the Mike Does Tattoos stickers like everywhere. And those are yours, right?
Yep.
Correct. Did you put the one on the door of China Inn, or did somebody else put that there?
Oh, that must have been somebody else.
Yeah, because I see it every time I leave China Inn. I'm like, Mike Does Tattoos. That's awesome. But yeah,
I've
see
got
them
some pretty
everywhere.
awesome clients.
Yeah,
so.
you clearly do. You clearly do.
No, dude, I'm not joking when I say like everyone knows who you are.
No, yeah.
They don't
like-
understand why a loser like me would know you. It's
No,
fucking
no.
weird.
Well, I have to
I
explain.
don't do anything.
What I
though.
just
I'm a
ex-
homebody.
what I was explaining
most
to people.
part.
What I was explaining to people is that we met him, like in a small town, and there weren't that many cool people around, and we were the best he could do at the time.
Whatever.
So
once he got to bigger cities, it's like fuck these guys.
what was the first tattoo you did on a dude? What was the first tattoo you did?
The very first tattoo I
I
ever
got a couple
did
of those.
was it was an anti-flag tattoo, actually.
On you, or
no,
like-
it was on my friend Travis that was living
So
with
this is
me.
the first time you've used a tattoo gun
Yep.
on some dude.
What was the anti-flag? Did it just say
It was
anti-flag, or was
it's
it-
broken M16s
Okay.
that make the shape of a star.
Oh,
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, it was my
So
roommate
that
at the
dude
time.
was just
It was
like,
on his. I did it
"Whatever,
on his
dude."
back. Pretty much. The guy that I was first apprenticing
What was it
under
like the
got
first time?
bombed and passed out in the middle of me tattooing it on this kid.
All right. What was it like? I mean, was it like holding the gun? Was it like, well, this is weird, or did it feel normal, or?
I mean, it's super weird. I'm gonna correct you and say machine though.
Yeah.
Machines go buzz buzz, guns go bang bang. But
So that's what lame people call them, tattoo guns. If you don't understand,
that's a
what
pretty
I
sweet
just
gun,
outed
man.
myself again.
So, now I'm gonna ask, what was the first tattoo you ever received?
The first
I actually know
tattoo
the
I
answer
ever
to this.
received was it's rest in peace and then initials of 4 of our good friends that passed
Oh, that's
away.
right, yeah.
when
What
we
did you
were
think it was?
16.
Where was that one at?
Mike's got a back tat.
Tramp stamp.
Yeah, it was the tramp stamp. That's what I knew. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that Mike's first tattoo was a tramp stamp.
Now, you shouldn't
So
be
that
held
was
to
awesome.
that. This is why I don't have any tattoos. because I was way dumber than you.
Yeah.
I would have got the stupidest shit imaginable. like I would have
Yeah.
like.
I can't make fun of
even
you
think
too
of how
much, 'cause-
stupid it would be because my brain doesn't allow myself to embarrass myself as much.
You know,
So
the really dumb ones are a lot of times my favorite ones, though.
Yeah.
on
So-
you or to give?
Just in general
What was the best tattoo you've ever given somebody? Your favorite?
that I've ever given someone.
Yep.
You know, I definitely have things that I like to do a lot that are my favorite, you know, subject matter or whatnot.
Such as?
Traditional American tattooing, bold lines, heavy, solid color.
Okay.
Stuff that's in the more, I guess, like darker
tribal?
or horror
Like-
genre.
Oh, right.
Okay.
is
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
I
yeah.
like to do a lot.
What about like an anchor with mom? Have you ever gotten that one?
Oh yeah, I've done.
Yeah,
I've
the
done
classic.
many
Nice.
anchors.
How many barbed wire biceps? Or is that out now?
I would like to say it's out.
People
There's
still do the barbed wire
there's
bicep?
still a few idiots out there roaming around.
Because I mean that's been a source of mockery for a long time. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so favorite is that traditional.
Yeah,
it seems like there's
traditional
a lot.
American tattooing. I mean, if I had to pick an actual favorite tattoo, it sounds cliche, but there was a kid who he was a special needs kid, and he would come in, and he'd been tattooed by everyone in the shop there. Super nice dude. He actually is now like a motivational speaker.
Nice.
He came in and got the word family tattooed on his ribs and
That's
had
pretty awesome,
each of his family members write down one letter and then put them all together.
That's really
And
awesome.
you know,
That's
I mean,
cool.
maybe it
That's a cool
sounds kind of
tattoo.
cheesy, but
No, that's,
No, that's
I
great.
thought it was super
okay.
cool.
Worst tattoo.
yeah, that's what's going to be next.
Worst tattoo?
Yeah. Can you even say this? Or you're going to
Just
feel
start
bad?
listing them off, like
Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote fucking the Roadrunner.
I
smoking
wish.
a joint. I've seen
If
that
you can
one.
find
It's in your
someone that
book.
wants to get that,
shit's
give
in
him
your
my
book.
number.
I've seen it.
No.
It's Wile E.
no.
Coyote smoking a joint.
Oh,
fucking
smoking a
Roadrunner.
joint.
Isn't he fucking Roadrunner?
No, he's holding a dead roadrunner in his hand.
Oh, I thought he was fucking.
But he was blowing O's from his joint.
All right, so
I almost forgot
so
about
what's
that
the
one.
worst ones you've given?
The best worst tattoo I've ever given someone was a woman in her 40s, because I would have never done this on someone younger, got Miss Pretty Pussy tattooed all the way across
that
her
one.
chest.
That's awesome.
Wow. What about
Some other good ones. I've done some tribal designs with the words fuck toy on an older woman's ass before.
I would love to do that.
What
That's
about
would
ones where
probably
you
be
were
my
just
favorite.
kind of embarrassed for the guy who got it? Like, you're going to regret this in a couple of years. Like something that was just trendy now. Like I saw a guy.
I want to talk.
Somebody
about
came
that.
through at Ashley and was handing out these little like. Evidently, they were doing tattoos or something they knew were, and they were handing out little like brochures for people that had his work. And there was somebody who'd had a tattoo of the dude from Pan's Labyrinth with the eyes in his hands.
Yep.
And like, in 10, 15 years, this was about a year after the movie came out. 10, 15 years time, if you still think you want that tattoo, go ahead and get it. But the week after the movie came out, let's hold on
What
before
about
putting
the
that
dude with
permanently
the
on
Boost
your leg.
Mobile or what? Monster Energy drink tattoo.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was
I've done the
Yeah.
monster tattoo before.
That
Yeah, like
I've done
corporate
that.
logos.
There's always trends in tattooing, and it sucks
Monster
to say
Energy
it.
is one.
Yeah, it sucks
It's
to
like
say
Sailor,
it, but
Tribal, Monster Energy.
Somebody
This-
had Bacardi rum.
this
too.
last
Yeah.
year it's been infinity knots and
What's that?
feathers.
What's Infinity Knot?
Like it looks like a figure 8.
Yeah.
Infinity knot.
Oh, like the Egyptian. Doesn't
Yeah.
that mean something?
Well,
it's infinity.
Infinity, it's constantly running forever because there's no break to it.
So that's been a big one.
Infinity knots or infinity knots with a fucking word put in it, or
That's pretty gay. honestly.
feathers that start to break away and blow away and turn into little bird silhouettes.
Oh, Jesus.
Anchors that say "refuse to sink." It's a fucking anchor. That's its goddamn
That's what
job.
an anchor does. It sinks. You should go with a buoy. You should suggest a buoy next time because they float, or you could tattoo an
Life
entire
vest?
like life vest or water wings.
Okay, so
Also, the other thing I was gonna ask. Sorry.
No.
It was just along the
Balls.
lines of worst tattoos. God damn it. I think I might have lost it. Shit.
Okay, well, one of the things
Shit.
I've noticed that tattooing is like a lifestyle. There's like it goes around. Oh, Nick's got it. Go.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. Like, have you ever? How many like ankle dolphins? Is that still a thing? Are ankle dolphins still coming? Like,
I've definitely done a few dolphins. Nothing recently.
okay.
But
There was a time when that
It's
was
usually
like,
older ladies that get dolphins on them now.
Like everybody I went to high school
like
with,
Flipper jumping out of her cleavage.
Oh
or,
wow! No, everybody in about 1994 every girl had an ankle dolphin, and this one girl went in for an ankle dolphin, and I don't know what she did, told the tattoo artist wrong, but it ended up going ankle to like mid shin. This is enormous dolphin. She came to school and it was like, "You see my new tattoo?" And everyone's like, "Hope you like dolphins."
All right,
Got a
so
fucking life-size dolphin tattoo.
Oh, what about
Tattooing?
tribal tattoos
We just
or
talked about-
Japanese words? Do you get those?
Japanese words.
You get Japanese words.
Oh, like
still?
kanjis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they
There's
ever
still a
say
lot
what-
of people that do them.
Do they ever say what you tell people they say, or you just
Do they
pick
still
one
go
up
to
and-
Chinese
Yeah.
restaurants and ask?
I
them
would
to
like
do
to
it? 'Cause
say
I've
that
seen
I'm
it.
that
waiting in
shady
line.
dude that puts like golden shower on somebody,
Yeah,
but
that's funny.
I can't be that guy.
Yeah.
So-
Hey, good for you, Mike. Good for you. I have one more I want to ask, but you were going first. So what do you have? I have one more.
Change it.
tattoo.
I'm digressing. So
Oh, because the only thing. Okay, 'cause the other one I want to ask is, what's the worst place on another person you've had to put it? Have you had to tattoo like a taint? Have you done a cock
I've
tattoo?
never had a tattoo on an actual cock.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna
Is
I'm
there
gonna
a
charge you
procedure?
a
Is there a
quote
book?
unquote handling
Yeah,
fee.
there's
is there
gonna
an
be a premium.
instructional book how to tattoo a cock?
No.
There
Does you
should
have
be.
to-
You actually, if you were to get your cock tattooed, you would actually have
Say-
to help me stretch.
And you know what I'd get?
Because is he gonna have to work
All
up?
aboard.
Is he gonna have to work up a chub and keep it the whole time?
No.
You gotta stretch.
I had a buddy who tattooed a guy's whole unit and had a big Japanese demon.
Dude.
And his cock was his tongue, so his cock was all red. And then they completely blacked out his nutsack, which apparently took 6 hours to do.
Holy balls!
And they had to stretch his fucking scrotum over a piece of board to
'cause-
tattoo it.
And I mean, I've been, when
Worth it.
Because when you get a new tattoo, it's pretty bloody and stuff and pretty sore. I can't imagine having your entire scrotum
Yeah.
like that. And
It'd be pretty nuts.
and you're slathering it with petroleum jelly all the time. Because how long does it take before you can really like have that out and be touching it? It's like a week or so, isn't it?
Can you really wait a week to touch your nutsack?
Right? So this person can't jerk off for like a week? Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
I'm outing myself there, but a week?
All right, so tattoo culture, right? If some kid wants to get into it and not just out himself as a kook immediately. What are some do's and don'ts to get into the tattoo culture? And not necessarily being a tattoo artist, because that seems like you'll learn. But if you want to start being hip with the jive and look cool at the custom car show,
I'm
what
gonna
are
be,
some of the things?
I'm gonna be that asshole and say don't get into it because it's already way fucking over flooded with people. That being said,
fist bump.
that being
Fist
said,
Dude, everybody's got one now.
I haven't been doing this forever. I've been tattooing for about 6 years now, and to me, I'm still new to the industry. I still have a lot to learn, but I mean, if it's something that you really, really want to pursue, just draw your ass off. Draw and draw and draw until you want to fucking stab your eyes out, and then draw some more.
Okay.
Put together a portfolio or a book, of your work, and take that to a shop. Show the people. I mean, no shop is just going to be like, oh yeah, come fucking work for us. Or
Drawing
at least no
talent
decent shop is
indicates
going to do
drawing
that.
talent indicates tattoo talent.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It can, it helps for sure to transfer over as far as coming up with designs. But
I would imagine that it would be just because you can draw doesn't mean you can tattoo.
No,
But
yeah.
you can't tattoo if you can't draw.
no,
Like,
because
other people who
there's
can tattoo
guys
really well
that
but can't
have
draw.
worked in flash shops out there their entire life that's all they do is recreate an image, and they can tattoo, and they're phenomenal tattooers,
Yeah.
but they can't draw shit. And
Huh.
I've met people that are amazing artists that can't tattoo their way out of a fucking wet
Yeah.
paper bag.
Interesting.
So
Where does your strength lie?
Charisma.
Okay, that's what I want to get into.
Really
You know what,
good
fuck it.
hand jobs while I tattoo you.
Okay, this
Everyone
is the
come
thing.
in and get a tattoo and get a free hand job.
Now, you and I grew up skating and being
That
in
should be
art
on the
culture.
sticker.
You and I grew up skate culture, art culture. We always had Juxtapose magazine. We're always interested in shit. And I think that both of us had some level of talent, you more than me. But, like, the number one thing is, I go into your shop, I'm like, I couldn't do it because I just couldn't deal with the people. Like, I'm going to tell a story right now, and I'm going to show how much of a dick I am, and you're not. I went out with Mike, and there was a girl that came up to him and said, Mikey, baby, I want to get a tattoo, but I don't want to look like a slut. And you're like, okay. And he's like, well, what are you thinking? And I'm not kidding. She said, I was thinking about tattooing both my breasts with cheetah print. And I started laughing. And you just straight face looked at her and be like, you know what we call that in the industry? We call that prime real estate. You might want to rethink that tattoo. There is no fucking way. You don't even remember this shit. There's no way I couldn't have laughed at that dumb woman. Like, you don't want to look like a slut. You're going to tattoo your tits. Like, are you fucking crazy? Tell me some things about charisma. Tell me about handling people. That's your strength in my opinion.
You know, okay, I tattoo a lot of things that don't always necessarily mean a lot to me, but I know that they mean a lot to that person that's getting them. So
can't do that. I hate people.
it deserves every bit of talent, respect, anything that I can put into it, whether I think it's a good tattoo or not. You know, I'm going to make it the best tattoo that I possibly can.
So a great deal of the industry is empathy. It's being
Yeah.
able to feel what the other person.
Yeah, I
feels.
mean, we're definitely, tattooers are definitely therapists.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are there
Interesting.
things you want to do yet in your career? I mean, it's really early in your career, but are there things that you're
I
like,
think
I
we
want
already
to do
mentioned the
this?
taint tattoo.
The dick tattoo. I thought it was dick.
We said
By the
both.
way, if
We
I got a
said
taint tattoo, it'd say paint
Paint on your taint?
or saint or satin.
There's a guy that Sean, my friend Sean knows, who got Elmer Fudd tattooed on his butt, pointing a gun at his
butthole?
asshole. Yeah, saying "Come out of there, web it." That's
Hey,
pretty funny.
when someone comes in and they get the tattoo on their ass that says your name here, can you pull off, oh,
that
wow, that's
happen?
really clever every time? Or the fucking dumbass shit, the mustache. It was cool the first 4 times. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Okay, how many times?
Okay,
like,
the
do you
mus-
see it?
the
You should
mustache
get a
thing-
different mustache on everything. by
The
way.
mustache thing is
made
actually
it
something
cooler.
that was started by a tattooer that was passed down from tattooer to tattooer.
It was a tattoo only thing. So they're
Yes.
jumping. They're thinking they're badass. Okay, tattoo culture 401. First thing you don't do: get the tattoo that badasses get. Okay. Don't get the. If you have that mustache shit, tattoo it like Scott Bourne. Fucking black arms. Just do it up and down black arms. Did you read that
become
guy's book?
a much bigger kind of subculture of tattooing now. Is
Blacking
like
out tattoos?
heavy black work. Yeah, blacking out an entire arm and then going back through and doing white designs on top of it.
Wow, that would be the
Or
craziest
doing
looking thing ever.
scarification on top of it.
Wow.
So
Have
that
a-
your scar will actually be like a
So-
more pinkish color and show through.
I know when punk went mainstream, punkers hated it. Well, now that tattoos are mainstream, do tattoo people fucking hate it? Like, do you guys all hate Kat Von D? Or are you okay with it?
Yeah, no, she's a dumb whore.
Okay, okay.
I mean, obviously, I don't know her personally,
But, yeah.
I mean, I think that kind of dives into. But I don't really know her either.
Yeah, she
you
might
don't
be a
know who
super
she
nice
is by her
person, but,
TV personality.
Yeah, yeah.
But that to me, that dives into that whole thing of reality TV.
Yeah.
Tattoo shows, I think, are a fucking joke.
Okay.
Complete fucking joke.
Why?
They're good for exposure, but it's just like any other
Exposure for
quote
tattoos.
nothing to
unquote
do with
reality
it.
TV
Yeah,
out there. It's all fucking scripted. It's
Yeah.
a misrepresentation of what
Just normal
what it
reality
actually
TV
is.
Does it bother you guys, as a person who's had tattoos for like most of your life, does it bother you that every soccer mom has a tattoo now? Because I know that I don't have
Do
any
you wish you
tattoos.
didn't have tattoos? Now?
I know that I don't
Nowadays?
have any tattoos, and a lot of the reason is that it's almost like more of a punk rock thing to do now to not get tattoos because everybody's got a fucking tattoo.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It used to be like
You were scary.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
used to say like, "Stay away from me. I'm a scary person."
What?
And now,
Or if it
who's
didn't
the
say that, it
your
just said
body is
it
a
was a
Wonderland guy?
Yeah.
Who's the body is your Wonderland guy?
John Mayer.
Okay, John Mayer has sleeves I don't know if tattoos are cool anymore. It sucks. Maybe it's more punk rock to have tattoos because John Mayer has them. And we've already went full circle.
Yeah.
Oh, we got about 6 minutes here. See, what are your thoughts on the future? Do you want to stick around Lacrosse? Do you want to start your own shop? Are you co-owner of the shop right now?
Nope.
You're just working.
Yep, I work at Twisted
What's the name of your shop?
Twisted Skull Studios, 206 4th Street in Lacrosse.
If you want a tattoo in Lacrosse, go there. We just got you so much business.
Yeah, right now.
It's so
right now, it's just it's me and then my buddy Jake Phillips. He's the owner. As far as like my future in tattooing, I just want to keep focusing on doing good tattoos. I mean, there's a lot of when I say that this, the industry is over flooded. There's so many people out there that don't give a shit about doing good tattoos, and they only care about making money. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can make a lot of money tattooing, but money is not what motivates me. Money is not what pushes me as a person. It's about doing good, clean tattoos. And I just want to keep focusing on that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to own my own shop, to be completely honest, because number one, I think I'd be a shitty business owner because I don't really give a fuck about most things.
Yeah. I couldn't run a business either. I'm right with
and, I just want to go to work, tattoo people, have a good time doing it, and then go home and work on artwork and chill out with my family pretty much.
All right, well, Mike.
So before we go, do you want to talk any shit about any other tattoo shops?
All right, Mike. So, you're moonlighting internationally. You're doing stuff overseas. You've done that. You're going all over domestically.
I haven't been overseas yet.
You're going.
I want to go sometime this year.
Yeah, that doesn't happen if you're just a nobody. That's some serious shit. So you're doing really well. You're the most famous tattoo artist in town, and I can say this is true.
Well, except for that guy who has his kids on the radio, because I hear that radio all the time.
So Mike, this is the part where we transition to the topic section, and you pick a song. What are we going to hear today?
What I would like to play for you is a collaboration of my two favorite bands, The Cure and Converge. And it's actually Converge covering The Cure song. It's December.
All right, cool. You're listening to it now. All right.
But that's the one that like.
But I don't really know if there's a cool song out there.
Oh my God! You just listened to Mike's song on Nick and Alex Are Dicks with Friends. Awesome song.
We haven't heard it.
Dicks.
Yeah,
I'm letting
we
it
put that shit in post, so we haven't heard it.
It's
Okay,
studio magic.
we're to the topic part. Just where we talk some stuff about some stuff, and our topic this week is something you do every day that in the past you never thought you would. So I usually make Nick start it off, and this is a free-form discussion. Just jump in.
I mean, I
wherever.
immediately thought of masturbation, but
You thought you.
to say
When
that
did you
I
think
didn't
you
think
would?
that I would do it
Yeah.
every day is a lie.
All right,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
mine. This is an interesting
The
look
minute
into
you
me.
realized what you could do, what potential the penis
So
held,
it's not like I said
that
like,
was
masturbating with a fire hose.
You know, when I was like, you know, you were what, 11 or so, when you realized the potential that the penis held. From that point on, this was part of your day. You know, you scheduled that in.
I found specific things like Mike's masturbating that I never thought
Shit,
I
I
would. but
woke up late. I don't have time to masturbate. Well, no, I guess I'm just gonna be late for work.
Dude,
I thought
I'm
even further about it.
You have a dog, right?
Yeah.
It's somewhat uncomfortable when the dog's in the room. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of want.
He's like my baby, so
yeah. You kind of
you know-
want to kick him out, but then you'd be like, well, that's a lot of work to go through just to jerk off.
I'm already in the middle of
Yeah,
this.
so,
I'm gonna lose my flow.
Yeah, so you end up doing it, but
When
I
do you
feel
stop
bad.
with the dog? If the dog like ascends onto you, would
If
you
the
stop?
dog-
I
Or is
feel
it
like you're
stopping
leading
first?
into a
Because he's
peanut butter
looking at you.
conversation.
He's
with this.
watching you
Yeah.
jerk off.
If the dog actually moved
Absolutely
in,
watching
honestly,
you.
that would traumatize me.
Yeah, that'd be-
I don't know
that'd
if I
be
could
wrong.
handle that. Yeah, that'd ruin it. Anyway, back to yours.
Oh,
We're off jerking off.
what I realized is that I was background super nerdy kid, had no friends at all, like zero friends until a certain point in my life. But up until about 12, zero friends. Was the weird kid that like built models. Creepy, weird dude. But
Would you agree with that assessment, Mike? Or
Yeah, I mean,
We weren't really
I
close until
I would say
later.
that we didn't have many friends because I mean
Yeah.
we were friends.
Yeah.
Then, but
right around 12 is where we started really being friends. We just knew each other. We were just, well, I know Mike, yeah. But 12,
I mean, we
started,
skateboarded together out on the playground
Yeah, I guess
during
whatever.
recess.
Yes, you had Mike.
I was 8.
You had-
I remember.
I guess I
when-
didn't
when
have
I
a
got
lot
my
of
first
friends.
skateboard, Ninja Turtle skateboard.
I
my
remember
grandma
that
got me for
absolutely. Who had the
Christmas.
Bruce Lee skateboard?
Chris Potts?
Because I couldn't have a skateboard. They wouldn't buy me one, so I would always have to borrow one. And I always end up with the Bruce Lee skateboard.
It was weird how robust of a skate scene Neilsville had. You had your Jeremy Butts and your Troy Peterson, and you guys. It was pretty big for such a small town.
Yeah.
Odd.
Have you ever gone back to the spots and just been like, oh my god?
To skate him?
Yeah, no, ever
Fuck
just
no.
look at it? Have you ever gone
I
to
try
Town
to be
Square?
in Nilsville as least amount as possible.
It's
these
sad
days.
now. Like every house is for sale. It's depressing.
Okay, no one gives a shit about Neilsville. All right, so what I realized was at one point where I had no friends, and it seemed like no one liked me, and I didn't have any friends. If you would have asked me what I would be doing now, I would be like, well, like living in a hole. I remember actually thinking that I could dig a hole and that I could live in the hole because there was a kid, Nick Drescher. He dug a hole and he fucking had like a clubhouse in the hole, and I was like, well, I could do that because I felt
Side note,
so
Alex was a-
alienated.
And they rode their lawnmowers there.
I felt so alienated that I thought there was
souped-up lawnmowers?
absolutely no way that like I would ever see a girl naked. I remember thinking that like that's never gonna happen. There's no chance. I would never get a job because people can't stand being around me. I was just like none of this would ever happen. And it didn't upset me. It was just like I can live in the hole. You know.
Side note:
Okay.
Alex was a stupid kid. He's gonna live in a hole.
I
in
can
the
live in the
ground.
hole and just think about naked girls. It's
So,
cool.
but then something happened. I got laid. I saw a girl naked, and it revolutionized my entire thought process. I went, well, if I saw a girl naked, I can do everything. Everything else was a lie too.
Sky is the
I am
limit.
fucking talented.
I saw boobs.
Yeah, like if this. So I was like, well, I'll fucking live in a mansion and have tons of money because I saw a girl naked. That disproves my entire philosophy from before. The world's my oyster. And then like a day later, I
been a man of
realized
extremes.
a day later, I realized I'm like super average, not talented, kind of douchey, and really lucky a girl let me see her naked. But
It actually took at least
on
5
specific
years.
things I've noticed that I didn't think would exist is like the cliche parts of life. That they like when you find out a friend is cheating on his wife with like someone he works with or something like super cliche. And you're just like, you're fucking kidding me. That's the shit in movies.
Yeah.
Like, or nepotism. Like, wait, like there's a guy he's the guy that should get the job, but they give it to like someone's kid. And you're just like, are you no way! Like this actually happens? Like you think like no one could be stupid enough
Oh yeah.
to actually do that kind of stuff. So those are the things that I've always been just extremely startled about, and I'm always super weirded out about. Nick, what were you thinking about? Was it involve pink leotards? Or something?
Yeah, well, what got me, it's since having the baby, there's like a ton of shit I never thought I would. I never thought I'd have a baby, for one thing. You know, like we didn't think it was ever going to happen, and then we did. So it's what everybody says, but it changes everything. And like, I never in my life have I coordinated an outfit. I always just grab whatever clothes are nearby. But I have a daughter, and you know, little girls are supposed to look cute. So I'm every morning I find myself like, does this pink go with this pink? And trying to find whether or not this outfit works. It always makes me so happy when Lizzie's like, she looks really cute today. I'm like, I fucking did it.
Fuck yeah.
I fucking did it.
I'm a fucking
and yeah, I take time.
outfit coordinator like a motherfucker.
I work that shit out of like well, will the green like add a little splash of color or will it look
Put a little
stupid?
purple with it.
Yeah,
Put a little
She has
purple
some
with the
purple
green.
pants. I try
There
to
you
work
go.
it. It can be difficult with purple. It's a polarizing color, really. I have no sense of
I have to
like
ask-
all of my clothes. Lizzie has idiot-proofed my wardrobe, where everything is like monocolor, like anything goes with anything else because it's all just neutral colors, one color. You're fine. Just put on clothes. It doesn't matter. She's idiot-proof my wardrobe. She buys my clothes for me because that's for the best.
Oh, another thing I found interesting about life is that I assumed at a certain age you're like, well, I'm an adult now. I have responsibilities. There's things I have to do, you know. And with age and maturity would come wisdom. And that I assumed all adults acted like adults. No. What I found was if you want your life to be exactly like high school, you can do that. If you want your life in the opposite, if you want your life filled with like cool shit, like books and music and be, you know, in a music
You mean
scene.
high school and petty drama isn't cool?
Oh, dude.
But people do that. They go out of their way to make
Oh,
their
yeah.
lives
Guys talk.
difficult.
Guys will talk exactly like how guys in high school talk about their girlfriends, and I just thought that shit would be. It was the same thing when we went to art school, dude. I thought when we would go to art school, it'd be people with like doing cool shit and talking about cool shit, and it was just the same like she's so hot. I can't believe she's not talking to me. Just the fucking lamest shit. I couldn't believe it. Like, no, you are an adult. What are you doing? And I just realized, dude, I am going to feel like an outsider for the rest of my life because this shit is fucking insane that people...
Well, but you find your group of people that do with the stuff that you like to do. So, no, I've never understood why people want to complicate their lives, but they do. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like
When there's obvious
Yeah, I mean, people
choices
like
that
to-
you could have done to make
yeah, that would have made
People
this
like to
easier.
create drama when it's really not
Well,
necessary.
they don't need to, you know. You don't like. Okay, so there's a cute girl where you work. You're married. Don't spend all your time hanging around with this
Right.
girl because it's gonna be a fight later.
Dude,
Why
I've
do
said
that?
this
You
before.
know,
I've said this before to people and they've gotten pissed off. But if you're married, there's no reason why you're in a bar past 9 o'clock. Even if you're taking your wife, there's...
I was in a bar at 1 o'clock with Lizzie last night.
Yeah, well...
It was Mikey's girlfriend's birthday.
Do a lot of... Yeah, well...
That's a reason right there. We were there. To
I
finish it.
argue that if you're out at 9 o'clock at a bar, not a house party,
I would say-
99% of the
Yeah.
people are trying to get laid.
Absolutely, but I
Or
would
trying
say-
to get into a fight.
I would say if you're there with your significant other, it's fine because then you're hanging out together. So whatever
Yeah,
you're doing
I mean,
together.
But why are
I-
you guys there? You
I
can't really
rarely
enjoy each
go
other's
out
company.
anymore, but I
Some
have to.
people like being at bars.
I have to force myself to go out.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
Oh, I hate
you know,
being at
otherwise
bars.
all I would do is just sit at home.
Some people like to dance. I don't like to dance, but some people do. So if you
That's-
want to go out dancing
that's
with your
'cause
wife,
you're
go
white.
ahead. But
There's a lot of places to go.
I'm just saying, if you like to dance and you want to go out dancing with your wife, go on ahead.
There's a lot
I'm
of
saying
places
that's
to go
just fine.
dancing that
I'm saying that's
isn't a bar.
Really?
I mean, you can do salsa dancing. You can do sort of
No, they like that-
specifically where it's
they
dancing.
like
No,
that
they
kind of
want
dancing.
people to look at them.
Probably. but-
That's the reason. Okay, here's
Yeah.
my thing I've noticed, right? When you go see a band play, like the lights go black in the crowd and everyone looks at the band, they applaud when the song's done, and they switch the lights back up, right? If you go to where there's a DJ, no one fucking sits and watches the DJ. That would be the creepiest thing ever. I mean, you just
totally
sits
gonna
there.
start doing that.
So when I started to
stare.
Wait.
realize
People
was,
do that though. Like if you go and like, let's say you go to a fucking Dead Mouse show.
No, they don't.
He's got a big giant fucking Mickey Mouse head on.
Well,
everyone's
they
looking
might-
at him. How could you
He
not
might,
look at
he
him?
might have a projector screen in back with cool shit, but for the most part, it's a guy with one ear out of his headphones staring down. Like that's all he's doing. What they do.
Most people are grinding their genitals.
What those shows are, you got light sticks and you're dancing and you're super high in ecstasy and you're looking at each other. That's why people have DJs play parties and not bands, because you shift the focus from the performer to the audience. And that's the thing that was like,
Yeah.
that's the drawing of a DJ. The interest goes away from the performer and goes to the audience. And I completely forgot where I was going with
See,
this.
I would still say.
Anyway, that's the whole dance thing. You go out dancing and you go out dancing in a bar where there's a DJ to have people look at you.
Yeah. But
Why are we having people look at you?
because if
You want
that's what
people to be attracted to
if
you.
that's what your wife wants to do, then I have no trouble at all.
Why
with
does
the
she
two of you
want to
going
do it?
out.
I don't
She
know if
wants
wives
to.
can get away with just doing that all the time.
I think that's
Is
perfectly
that
fine.
an
As long as they're
endless
not-
guilt?
Wives have
non-legal-
vaginas, which means they can get away with
Yeah.
pretty much whatever
And
the
I'm
fuck
not,
they
as long
want.
as they're not doing anything, who cares? I would say as long as you're there with your significant other, you're fine. I totally agree with your point in terms of if you're there by yourself. If you're married and you're at a bar without your wife past 9 o'clock, you're in the wrong. But if she's there with you, fine, whatever. It's what you want to do. Hang out. Because then you're there together as a couple spending time together.
What if she's at her book club and you're out having drinks with some friends?
I don't know.
Past
And
9
I guess
o'clock
it depends
at a
on
bar.
I guess it depends on the bar. I
I
would
guess it does.
What if you- what if you
here's
work
an
third
interesting-
shift?
Here's an interesting. When did bars?
And I guess a lot of people like bar and like I don't like hanging out at bars. This is why we lose connection. Because to me, it would just be like, why not have the friends over to my house and hang out on a comfortable couch and watch TV, as opposed to standing in a shitty bar listening to someone else's shitty music and paying 3 times as much for drinks.
Did you know?
I don't get
Did you know
bars.
the end of the disco era made bars suck?
Yeah, because remember the old. We talked about this before. That the way people looked at bars used to be cheers, a group of like people hanging out, having drinks quietly in this area.
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, yeah. And now it's a club. It's dancing. It's big, loud music.
But why did it
You're-
happen?
I think this all
It's
ties
disco,
into
'cause
You
there
know,
it all
wasn't any
ties
place
into
for
the
people to go.
downfall of society.
What was the downfall of society? Disco?
This all ties into the downfall of
Yeah,
society.
yeah, really.
Seriously though,
Well,
think about
Western civilization.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not all civilization.
think about when you were younger in the
No.
80s. You
When I
know,
was
granted. Come on now, 7.
You guys were pretty young in the 80s. I remember the
True,
80s.
true. even very early 90s.
Yeah.
You know, granted, I was a young, naive kid, but just seeing the way that people socially interact with each other back then is completely different than it
How
is
so?
today.
In the 80s from the 90s or the 90s from now?
Well, even the
yeah.
90s to now.
Tell
I mean,
me how.
people used to actually give a shit about other people. And I'm not saying that people don't now, but the mass majority of people don't give a fuck.
Why do you say that?
They're out for themselves.
They were in the 90s? Fucking
No,
Enron?
there's still people out that are, were out for themselves back then, but just as a whole, I feel that
don't know if that's
people
true, but I'm
cared
interested in
more
why
about
you
other
think that.
people.
I think people are slightly less connected to what's going on around them because of the internet that you have in your hand at all times.
Yeah.
So instead of being engaged,
Oh,
with
that's
where
the
you
worst.
are,
When
you
people
can
go
just
to the
plug
shows
into
and
something
they're
else.
writing
Yeah.
about the show.
Yeah,
Oh man.
So
it's
I
bummer.
think that's what you're seeing is that they're not engaged with what's around them. It isn't necessarily that they. I guess it is kind of they don't give a fuck because they're engaged. They care about something.
yeah,
They
I
just
mean,
don't care about what's
don't get me
around
wrong, there's still good people out
them.
there. I'm not saying
Well,
that.
and even those people because they care about something. They just don't care about what's around them. Because they're still connected to that thing.
You know,
that they
that's
care
an
about.
interesting idea because the internet broadens your perspective so much that no matter what you do or where you go is lame. Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
because they could be
something
like
better,
the greatest show. We saw Ultra Bidet play. That was fucking unbelievable. But there were kids on their phone.
Yeah.
Like, dude, stop. Look, you're never gonna see this again. We're like, yeah, they are. There's videos. They'll see it again.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not, but it's also available. I don't think it's not the same to us because we're old. To the younger generation, I just don't know if that's necessarily so.
Yeah.
So, kind of
So-
depressing.
So
we
your
just bummed it
viewpoint
out,
is you're
didn't we?
seeing
We
that
just bummed it
you're
out.
seeing that people are just disconnected when they're out, or do you see that people like generally
think
are
people are
worse
just-
people?
A little of both.
Can you give me
little
an
of both.
example or a situation?
I'm an optimist about certain things, but at the same time, I just I feel like eventually we're all gonna kill each other off. Really,
How so?
That's probably not gonna
Like
happen in
Global war
in
like a
my
mass war?
lifetime, but yeah,
See, I don't think that. I think that our culture, the Western civilization, as it is it's disappearing. But I'm just saying something else will show up, and it may still be America. It's just it won't be America. We'll cease to be America, the democracy that we've known, and be America, the empire, or something like that. I do think a change is coming.
yeah.
I just don't.
A change in what?
In the power structure, the global power structure. What we've experienced over the last 50 years, we talked about this before, is it's 50 to 100 years. It's singular. It's never happened in history that the most powerful nation in the world has been as moral as we are. And people complain about America, and I understand there's a lot wrong with America, but you think about it, we had nuclear weapons for 50 years and never used them. If you'd have given a nuclear weapon
This
to any
ties into
other
the
powerful
recent
nation.
happenings with Russia.
Yeah.
Talk about that a
So
little bit.
we'll get there. You give a nuclear weapon to any other powerful nation through history, to Rome, Assyria, they're using that weapon. We didn't. And that's amazing. But I don't think culture doesn't change like that. It isn't like we started acting this way, so now the whole world's going to change. We thought it was going to happen that way. America thought that we were ushering in a new era, but that's not how change happens. There's faltering steps. One people starts to move forward a little bit that way, and then it doesn't quite take because somebody else, like what's happening in Russia right now with Vladimir Putin, you hear a lot of people saying it was, like John Kerry said it was 19th century politics and stuff, but that's the rest of the world. What we've been doing for 50 years is an anomaly. 100 years from now, maybe everybody will be doing things that way when they realize that it's smarter to not kill each other. But right now, there's still so much sectarian hate. There's so much religious dissent that you are going to have those territorial wars and that brutality that we've been trying to move away from, and to our credit as a nation. And that's and granted, with what Putin has done, is a pretty bloodless takeover of the Ukraine of Crimea, and you can absolutely make the argument that the Crimea always should have been part of Russia. I don't know how much time we have to get into that because I've been reading into it a lot, but it's kind of an act of territorial aggression, which we had all thought was ending. We thought the end of the nation of nationalism was coming, and it doesn't. And this action by Russia is kind of denying that.
Well,
and what were you gonna say?
What brought that on is a recent historical change, which is capitalism. And when you really say, statistically, when you look at the world compared to the rest of history, we are leading towards global peace. A lot of our wars are basically not wars. I mean, we count one soldier dying is reported on the news. We make a huge deal out of one person dying. And you look at the changes in the world, we don't have global conflicts anymore. We have these small little things basically to prop up
Brush
industry.
fires, yeah.
Yeah. So what is the recent happening in the last 200-ish years that formed that? And that's capitalism. It's this idea, the Adam Smith growth of nations. His idea was wealth of nations. His development into this idea of capitalism, basically laissez-faireism. Everyone's out to themselves. Of course, that is mixed with all government pretty much is a constant balance between socialism and capitalism because one gets conflicted. So you always have to balance the two, and that idea is leading us to possibly global peace. This little this little fragment of a change with Russia being an imperialist nation basically taking over looks like a possible end of things, and it could be.
Well,
or it could just be like, oh, wait, well, why don't we go back
Yeah.
to letting everyone do everything, where one of the side effects of capitalism and imperialism is that, you can live nearly for free in America. If you and 4 of your friends, and the millennials are accepting this, they're not going to college, they're not getting cars, they're not leaving their home, they're staying where they are, because they know if them and 4 of their friends get an apartment, they'll have $100 each to pay their rent. They can have a internet bill for $50 split 4 ways, and they can get all the entertainment they want for $125 a month. You only have to work a few hours at a fast food chain and do that. That is a direct result of capitalism. And the scariest part of American imperialism, and I say that with quotation marks, is that it might be bringing on global peace and basically freedom from work for a lot of people.
Do you really believe that?
'Cause the
global
point-
peace is something that is going to happen, though.
The
I
point
think
I'm
we're
making,
heading towards it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'm not a
the,
sightseer.
the point I'm making is that is how it has appeared. The trends are, but these trends are pretty heavily America centric, and in a lot of the rest of the world, the reality you described doesn't exist. So in that rest of the world, the concept of territoriality and imperialism is alive and well. They haven't been acting on it because America has been strong enough to keep them from acting on it. And as America's global power wanes, I'm curious to see what happens with
When other
Vladimir
people
Putin.
get stronger and they
Or-
lead towards their own.
Yeah, or if
Evolution.
we regress to the mean, because we very well could. We could go back to the way things have always been with this. If Vladimir Putin pulls this off in Crimea, and then moves on, takes the rest of the Ukraine, and then takes back the Baltic states, and there's nothing anybody does about it, does that mean the rest of the world says, well, to hell with this other idea, let's go back to grabbing what we can militarily? Do we regress to the mean? Do we go back to the way things have always been? And is this just another faltering step towards a better world that we've took over the last 50 years?
I guess really the
I do
question
think a
is-
change is coming. I don't know where it's going to
The
go.
question is the gains received
Well, I guess
that
change
much
is,
beneficial?
change is coming is the wrong thing to say. We're in the midst of change. We are living in a time of flux. When historians look back at this period 1,000 years from now, they'll say that this was a time of turmoil. And this is the end, because it's not the end of America, it's the end of Western civilization that was founded in Europe hundreds of years before. And that was the ascendant part, the ascendant global. We're just the end of that. We're the Byzantine Empire. We're the rundown part of Rome. You know, I think that's what we are, and it's moving towards something else. I don't know what that other thing will be, but I do think that we are in the midst of change. That's why people are, and why people are so like upset. Why people are, because it feels like things aren't solid like they ought to be. So, anyway. So I don't know that we're heading towards destruction, death, end of humanity. I do think we're heading towards change.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't think that these little things would cause us to. I think men like to kill each other too much to destroy off men right now. Man can get killed off by tornadoes and earthquakes, but I think we've already proven through the Cold War that we're probably not just going to kill each other off, because we could have at any time. And it proves that man looks at it like we're not going to stop conflict. We're always going to have conflict. We're not going to get past that.
Oh yeah, there'll always
But
be conflict.
we had all the opportunity, like crazy people in power have the opportunity right now to blow up all of mankind. And we've chosen not to. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the fact that we can kill off each other and we haven't?
I think it's an amazing anomaly that we haven't done it already.
It's
just because, I mean, literally, all it would take is one fucking nut job to start
Isn't that
it.
the beautiful thing?
And
that
once
we
it
haven't done
starts, it's fucking over with.
Yeah.
You know.
Because
Is it?
It takes.
That's in the movies.
Yeah.
Is it true that it would be?
Like if
would we just be like, you have to stop now?
Well, I mean,
like
we have enough.
If Vladimir Putin was that insane, and I'm not altogether sure that he is, honestly. He made, but if he was that insane, that if he opened the holes and started like would it cause global thermonuclear war? Would we? I don't know what happens then.
That would be insane. That's just the idea. Like, well, everyone could press the button and all these bombs would go off, but no one would. We know what would happen. What would be the purpose of doing
But
it?
all it takes is one.
Not really. Just it would be.
No, it's not a guarantee,
You're saying that if a crazy person took control of like a Russia or a China and launched the missiles towards the United States, that America
that
would
we're
not
not going to do
counterattack?
anything about
We would
it.
counterattack, but would it be mass destruction, complete annihilation of human existence? No, I don't think we would do that. We would counterattack.
I
definitely
think it
don't
depends
it's
on what
complete-
it escalates to.
I don't think it's complete I don't think it's ever complete destruction of human existence. I think there will always be enclaves. It would just be a disaster. It would be a lot of people dead.
I think we would accept the consequences of being alive, and we would fight back as much as we possible. Whoever would fight back, the person being fired upon would fight back as much as they could without complete annihilation of human existence. It would be all-out war without a doubt.
I don't think complete annihilation of human
I
existence.
don't
is
think people are as
possible.
stupid as we want to think people
Yeah.
are.
Well, like not from with a nuclear war standpoint. I know that was always the big boogeyman. Is the full? It's just humans cover every inch of the globe. We live in every conceivable like ecosystem environment. We live everywhere. We can live everywhere. There's always going to be this small part that wasn't hit that people can still live on. You know, it's just the destruction that would be necessary to kill off all of humanity just doesn't seem likely to me. I guess you would need to actively be trying to carpet the whole world to make that work. And yeah, I would agree that I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think if something like that happened, if one person started the ball rolling, it would be pretty catastrophic. It would be bad. But no, I don't agree that it would be the end of the human race. I think if the human race ends, it'll be, asteroid, something like that.
Absolutely.
Fucking zombie.
Zombie
Well,
apocalypse.
when you talk about
Or-
something being that transcends history, say
or disease. Disease could do
Rabelais or Shakespeare or whoever, that is just between Ice Age. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, you want
We'd live through an ice
a lot
age,
of
so.
people. A lot of people want to be remembered through history, but it's only between different ice
Yeah.
ages.
Yeah.
Eventually, everything that you know, Julius Caesar will be nothing eventually.
But yeah, we'll survive an ice age. That's not that big of a deal anymore. We could live through that.
Julius
Unless
Caesar
it's-
will never.
Unless
we
it's
could
an
not.
all-out ice age.
No, we could.
How would we do that?
We have
There-
we have hydroponic facilities that we can grow food to eat independently of soil. We don't even need the.
I guess it would.
We could live
unless it was
underground
immediate.
forever if we.
If it was some sort of immediate ice age, right?
That would kill a lot. Well, first of all, that's not possible. There's no such thing as that was a movie invention. Ice ages take thousands of years to occur. Ice age, but even if it was
But
immediate,
what if
it would
one day
kill
it
a
just
lot
gets
of people.
really cold?
It would kill a lot of people. It wouldn't kill all the people because there's just too fucking many of us. The one that like disease, just because of how impoverished our genetic heritage is. I was just reading about this actually, that it was the explosion of the Tovan supervolcanic caldera that nearly wiped out the human race, knocked out the entire population down to about 10,000 people on the whole globe, and we're all descended from that, which means it's made our genome very small. Like there's so little genetic variation between humans, and it's not like that in any other or most other species. And it's because we were nearly wiped out just a geographical eye blink ago. So we're close enough together that a blight, a disease, could kill us off.
See, and I think that
So many people
justifies the fact that we can survive nearly anything.
Mm-hmm.
Justifies the thought that it is unlikely that we would just go
Yeah.
up killing each other. I think that the fact that we see realism, no matter how stupid of a thing we do, we really know our place here, and we want to keep living, and we would stop killing each other off. All right, well, that's about it for episode 3, Mike Marty. Now,
Went to some weird places.
for our ending song,
That's what I do.
I
For
was
our
talking
ending
about,
song, I'm
I was
starting
talking
a
about
new
putting
tradition.
clothes on my baby.
I'm starting a new tradition. I'm going to say if Nick can think of a better song than the one I think to roll out with, we'll play that. I'm saying Jet Boy, Jet Girl. You got anything funnier than that?
It's the one I told you last night because I couldn't think of a better one. Was on an episode of Raising Hope. There were 2 Chinese guys who were listening to a Chinese version of Jet Boy, Jet Girl, and I think we should do that.
All right, if I can find it, that's what's playing. Thanks a lot. Bye, everyone.
dicks.
She became and drives me wild. I'd like to hit him on the head until he's dead. The sight of blood is such a high. Ooh, 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 ooh. He gives me head. We made it on a ballroom Benz. I took his arm and kissed his lips. He looked at me with such a smile. My face turned red. We booked a room into the Ritz. Ooh, 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 ooh. He gives me head. Jet boy, jet girl. Gonna take you around the world. Jet boy, I'm gonna make a penetrate. I'm gonna make you be a girl. Ooh, 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 ooh. Jet boy, jet girl. I know I'm only just 15. I like to kick, I like to scream. And even if I have a kick or two in bed, when I'm with him, it's just a dream. Ooh, 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 ooh. He gives me head. Jet boy, jet girl. Gonna take you around the world. Jet boy, I'm gonna make you penetrate. I'm gonna make you be a girl. Ooh, 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 ooh. Jet boy, jet girl. The other day, what a surprise. I saw him with some other guys. God, he was dressed up with a girl around his neck. I could have cried with both my eyes. Ooh, 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 ooh. He gave me head. And if or when I make it through, or if my brain is stuck on glue, and when the world tries to forget all that I said, I still remember you. Ooh, 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 ooh. You gave me head. Jet boy, jet girl. Gonna take you around the world. Jet boy, I'm gonna make a penetrate. I'm gonna make you be a girl. Ooh, 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 ooh. Jet boy, jet girl. Jet boy, jet girl. Gonna take you around the world.